Hey there everybody, how's it going? It's Jessie from Jessie Marie Does Stuff here on FlossTube, and I am here with my next video. Hey! Today is Tuesday, August something. What's the date? Let me look. August 11th. Ooh, that's weird. I started recording exactly at 11:11 a.m. on August 11th. Might have to play that in the lottery. Anyway, so yes, it's Tuesday. I was supposed to record yesterday, but I didn't, obviously. And the reason for that is basically crumb weather. Colors looked so bad. And I kind of got caught up knitting, actually. I cast on 2 new projects yesterday. It's kind of crazy. But so that's pretty much why I didn't record yesterday. Timing was just weird, and today we have the sun, which is variable because there's clouds rolling in and out. So, you know, we'll have the typical lighting issues. And so yeah, here we are. So today I have my FlossTube Shoutout, which, to be honest, will probably surprise no one. I also have the WIPs that I worked on last week, and then the WIPs that I'm working on this coming week. And this Sunday is August 16th. It is the last day of the Cross Stitch It's Fun Summer's Last Hurrah. So that's kind of exciting. Although having this scheduled out day by day has been awesome for me, and those last 15 days of August or so, kind of scary with the openness of opportunities. So anyway, I will talk about that at another point in this video, I'm sure. So let's just go ahead and get on with it all. FlossTuber Shoutout. Today I am shouting out somebody who is responsible for a lot of us actually being on FlossTube. And I don't mean myself, but certainly a lot of our newer FlossTubers have begun this journey of sorts because one person's not so polite, just kidding, very polite encouragement from this one person. And that FlossTuber in particular is CoffeeStitcher Garrett. At first, when I was contemplating this FlossTuber shoutout thing, I contemplated not shouting out the more widely known stitchers because I think a secondary opportunity, I suppose, from doing this FlossTuber shoutout is that the lesser known channels get a little bit more traffic. So I was trying to shout out the channels that maybe don't have as many subscribers or are really new to the game. Just, you know, trying to shout out some of that. But then I thought, well, I don't want to exclude anybody. I mean, that kind of defeats the purpose, right? So when I was thinking the other day about who I was going to shout out today, Garrett just was sort of like the first person that popped up. Garrett is hilarious. Definitely a joy to watch. He works on some really cool things. A really eclectic taste over there. I have definitely been enabled by him. So to stitch, there are at least 15 projects sitting in my Etsy cart because of Garrett. Oh, look, as if on cue, we're losing the light. And it's coming back. Gotta take a sip of water, guys, I'm sorry. Note to self, pre-recording snack, a bad idea is almonds because they dry everything up. So anyway, back to Garrett. Yeah, lots of fun to watch. Has enabled me with So to Stitch and Brooks Books and etc. I've even turned my eye back towards Frosted Pumpkin because of what he has done with those patterns as well. If you haven't seen CoffeeStitcher's channel, first of all, stop watching me right now and just go queue up every single one of his videos because you'll enjoy it. Yeah. Oh, one thing. Garrett does this thing in his videos sometimes where he stops talking like about what he's talking about to talk to the viewers, and so he'll say, you know, how are you? And then like give you time to respond. So let me just tell you this little story. It's a little snippet. This one night I came home from work. I had a really bad day at work. I mean, we're talking I almost walked out the door, and that's just not who I am. But I really almost did this one night. So I come home and I turn on FlossTube and I start stitching because that is my escape, and it is also my place for meditation and for really thinking through things. And so I put on a video from CoffeeStitcher, and he's like, hey, how are you doing? And I'm like, terrible. Tonight was awful. And then he cut me off. And he was like, oh, that's good to hear. And I'm like, really, Garrett? And like, I'm saying all of this out loud. So Danny comes in the room and he's like, who's Garrett? Oh, yeah, it was funny. Yeah. So anyway, and then to explain to my fiance, like, what all that was about. And he just gave me the funniest look. So anyway, thank you, Garrett, for that additional piece of entertainment. Sort of like an unintentional piece of entertainment. So there's that. So thank you, Garrett, for sharing your cross stitches with us, as well as other bits of your life and interests. Lots of fun. So thank you for that. So yeah. So let's talk. Here's a really great segue. I was trying to figure out which order to do this in. So I'm going to talk about my Stitch Mania August ABCs works in progress. Because I have two. I worked on Your Aim until last Saturday, and then I switched projects for that. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you Your Aim and the progress that I made on it. This was a new start during August. I started this on August 1st, and I worked on it according to the Katie the Stash Queen recipe of 1 hour a day for, I think I worked on this one for 8 days. Yeah, 8 days. And so this is 8 hours worth of work. And the project here, if you can't recall, is a Joan Elliott, and it is from the Cross Stitch Sentiments and Sayings book. And eventually, now this is the irony, eventually it will say, my aim is to keep this bathroom clean. Your aim will help. The irony is that this August ABC's sort of month-long theme stitch-along, we're supposed to be stitching things with letters. And there are letters in the pattern, but I stitched no letters. I just didn't make it up to that point. And she's also headless and legless. But nonetheless, this is what I've accomplished. So I like the pattern. I have some discrepancies with it. I have some issues with it. Do you ever have those charts where some of the symbols aren't actually symbols, they're just colored blocks? This uses that. And for the most part, you can tell the difference. Like there's, for instance, there's a pale purple and a deep purple. And they don't have a symbol, they're just the colored block. But you can tell the difference between the two. Ironically, the dark purple corresponds to a dark blue thread, but it's fine. Like I can keep track of that. With this one, however, if you see in the mop, there are 3 grays in there. 2 of which are really, really close together. It uses 762, which is the palest of the grays there. And then the darker ones, 318 and 415. And the symbols for 318 and 415 are light gray and darker gray. And I don't mean dark gray, I mean just darker than the light gray. So telling the difference between them is really kind of complex. It's not as simplistic as it should be. And so I had to go through and actually edit my pattern to add a symbol in after using a magnifying glass and direct hit light to tell the difference between these two symbols, or two colors that they're calling for. So, I mean, I managed it. There might be a mistake here or there, but because it's the grays are so similar, I don't think that it's really going to make that much of a difference. I will run into that again when I work on the commode over here, because again, it uses those grays. But I think I can manage it. I think that it's all right. And yeah, so this is, as a reminder, this is on 32 count MCG Textiles linen, which I don't think I will ever purchase again, despite the fact that it is wicked cheap and you get a great big huge piece. This is only, this is less than a quarter of the fabric that I had cut off, and really it's way too big for the pattern, but I didn't want to run into a mini purl issue again. So, that's that. It is really, really, really soft, which I am so not used to with linen. I work with a lot stiffer linens. This one is crazy soft, which is all right. It's not a huge deal. So yeah, so that is the end of my first project for August ABCs. And then the next project I started it officially on August the 7th, but it became my August ABCs project as of the 9th. So I worked on it as my project for the day on the 7th, and then I pulled it back out for my hour rotation as of the 9th. And so the project in question is the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery's Fibery Friends sampler. Okay, it's still on my frame because I was stitching on it this morning. But here's where I'm at. So I have a couple of things to tell you about this. First of all, adorable. I mean, just the whole thing is so cute. My sheep guy in the middle there, he is incomplete. Really, the bunny is incomplete. The cotton is incomplete, for a couple of reasons. So, first of all, the fabric, I'm convinced now, is a Jobelan. And it is studio session number 121, so it's a one-of-a-kind from Color Cascades, which is based out of Australia. And I won the rights to purchase this in a Facebook sale, I think 2 years ago. And it's just a really pretty pale pink. I really like the quality of the fabric. It's stiff, but it's really great. The only issue that I'm having with it, and this is purely user error, is that it was stored folded up for the last 2 years, and so you can see the crease down the middle here, and that's really kind of unavoidable. It just is what it is. So, story number 1. I'm missing one thread color. You see in his little sweater there, or this little sweater here, that's supposed to be a green color that I don't have, so I have to purchase that. What else? So up here in the crown of the sheep's head, this is going to be a sheep, and he's wearing a blue sweater. It's charted for some white, as well as the bunny's mouth and cottontail, and then over here, right here, is a little mini sheep. It's a little teeny tiny one, and there's a couple of those over throughout the pattern. The white there is missing, as well as in the cotton. You see there's cotton on either side of the sheep, and the actual cotton itself is not stitched in yet. I'm also missing the clothesline for the finished knitted garments. Let's see. For the sheep and the cotton, I am switching out. I can't believe I'm doing this, you guys. It's crazy. I'm switching out the white for White Whisper because I thought fuzzy sheep, fuzzy cotton, like it should have that fuzzy texture to it, right? I really am looking forward to doing that and adding that sort of textured element to this because I think that'll be really cute. What else am I doing? Or something else that I was doing differently. Oh, so in the center of this pattern, there is charted for an alphabet. I'm okay with that. Hence the reason I can use this for August ABCs. However, I'm going to change it, and it's in the center, it's going to say I, and then the shape of a heart, the fiber arts. Because really, that's true. I do love the fiber arts. I knit, I stitch. I would love to learn how to spin. I think. I don't know. Kind of scared of that. Anyway, so I heart the fiber arts, and I thought that this would be really cute in my craft room. I might frame it in a hoop and have it sitting on my bookshelves in there. I just thought that'd be really cute. So what I'm going to do is the heart of that quote, I'm going to stitch in the BFL wool that I got with my latest stitchy box. And that was from Dragonfly Lotus. And I thought it's kind of a little bit sparkly. It's got a little bit of color in it. I thought that would be really pretty. Because it is so light, I'm concerned that it may not pop enough against this fabric here. So I'll try it out, and if I don't like it, then I'll pull it out and I'll switch it for maybe Whisper, or maybe I'll switch it for something else. And then the eye and the fiber arts, I'm going to use the alphabet that was charted for the pattern, and I'm going to use a variegate. I'm not sure which one yet. I may do Thor, which is a cotton from Moe's, or because I thought that would be, just kind of perfect. Or I thought about, I don't know, pulling something else. Maybe I have a maroon and orange because that's so me. So I will have a look and see what I've got in my stash, and I will update that with you next time. Let's see. I forget how much fun frosted pumpkin patterns are, because it's like you do a little motif and it's like a mini finish. So like I finished the yak over here. I'm like, oh, he's so cute, and my yak was finished. I have a yak on my pattern. So that's been really cool. It's also been really motivating to keep me back, to keep me wanting to work on this, which, that's that. So, sorry, I'm getting an email here. All right. Okay. So on this pattern, we have the bunny, a sheep, a yak, and then down here along the bottom, there's an alpaca. And I've decided that I'm going to name them. Sorry for the beeping, y'all. That's my coffee pot telling me that it's done doing its thing. So I was like, I'm going to name them, because why not? So I decided that I was going to name them Larry, Mo, Curly, and Fred. And I'm just going to walk you through this just so you can get another of my quirky details. So Curly, pretty obvious. That's the sheep. Their fleece is curly. It's, curly. It just makes sense. Mo, the reason I was going to name the bunny Mo. Okay. This is how you know that I'm still a novice at knitting. Mohair is a fiber type that is used in knitting. Mohair comes from Angora. Now, in my mind, Angora meant rabbit. However, Angora actually means two things. Angora means rabbit, and there's also an Angora goat. Mohair comes from the goat. So I thought mohair, Angora, rabbit, like that was my train of thought there. Maybe not that blotchy, but anyway. So I was going to name him Mo, and so I thought, I have Curly and Mo. Well, I know the Three Stooges, Larry, Mo, and Curly. And ironically enough, there are three up top here, Larry, Mo, and Curly. So this is, the bunny rabbit's name is actually Angie, for Angora Ange. But her nickname is Mo, because she thinks that's cool. And then we have Curly and Larry the yak, which I think is kind of adorable. So then we have the alpaca down at the bottom. I'm like, what am I going to name him? His name is Fred, because alpaca. Fred the alpaca. Yeah, I don't know. Dana gave me the funniest look when I was explaining this to him the other day. Whatever. It's one of my quirks. I named the animals. What are you going to do? As far as there are 2 girls on the bottom that are knitting and crocheting. I don't know what I'm going to name them. It's probably me and my alter ego. But in the meantime, this is where I'm at with my Fibery Friends sampler. I have almost the entire top page done with the exception of the things that I'm missing. And yeah, really quick piece, lots of fun. Enjoying it. So that's that. So those are my August ABCs projects. And so I suppose I will switch gears to the Summer's Last Hurrah WIP review for the last week. So, last Monday, you may recall that I was working on my chatelaine by Frosty Knot Garden, and I told you that I wasn't probably going to get much stitching time because I had that headache, I had to go to work, it was a bad day. But I did stitch a little bit, and so these are the bottom 2 corner motifs, corner ornaments, and basically I stitched all of the green you see there in the center of that triangle. And that is using one of my favorite Dinky Dyes colors. It's called Ghost Gum. Oh my gosh, I love that color. I don't know what it is, but every time I get to use that color, I'm like happy. So that's really all that I accomplished in that one day. Not a whole lot, but it did reaffirm how much I love this project and how much I really, really want to get it done this year. So it may become a focus piece, but of course I can say that about just about anything else that I show you. So, you know, we'll see what actually happens. So that was my chatelaine Frosty Knot Garden. This is on 32 count antique white Belfast linen from Zweigart. Should I chat? Now to figure out where to pile these things. Right there, that works. Okay. On Tuesday, I pulled out my Heron, and this is by Leslie Tier. This is on a 28 count even weave, just a basic piece of even weave. I think that it is I have no idea. And I also didn't accomplish all that much on this either. You won't notice a whole lot of change between this week and last week. I got a lot of the background done, and I finished up the Heron's chest there, but I'm still on page 1. I didn't get page 1 completed. I don't even remember why I didn't work on this much, but I just, for whatever reason, I didn't. Just didn't work on it all that much. So that's my Heron, and when he comes back out, I'll work some more on him. This is, to be honest, not one of the pieces that I love a whole lot. It's not one of the ones that I am like itching to get back to all the time. Okay, next I started on this project that I am in love with. Really, really in love with. I am going to take my time with it. I'm not going to rush through it because I just love it so much already that I know that I'm going to miss it when I'm done with it. And I just can't even explain why that is. So this is my Elephants by Jane Netley Mayhew. This is on 32 count aqua linen, dyed by Fabric Flair. So it's just a nice pale blue, kind of a clouded effect. Crafty Kim, if you're watching this, I know that you were looking for a fabric for your X's and O's pattern to replace the dark blue fabric that 123 Stitch had sent you. This was the first, when you were talking about that, this was the first fabric that popped into my mind because I think that this has got the pale blue look to it that you are after. So anyway, I was showing you the wrong side again. I tell you what, guys, I'm terrible. That's the blue. You see the blues and whites? This is a fabric that really does have a right side and a wrong side. Pale blues. Okay. So what I got done on this, not much. And the reason for that is it was my anniversary the day that I started working on this. And so between preparations for that and we were out at night, etc., etc. So this is what I got done. So what you see there is the top of the baby elephant's ear. That's what I started with. It's the baby elephant. And I'm missing a few colors. I can't believe that I'm actually missing DMCs. It blows my mind. But I am missing a few colors, so I'm missing the one that kind of curves off his ear right there. But I'm in love. Cannot wait to get back to this. I really like this fabric flare fabric. Gosh, that's a tongue twister if I ever heard one. It's stiffer than like the MCG textiles linen, but it's just, I don't know, it's really good to work on. I really enjoy it. So anyway, there's my elephants, and I cannot wait to get back to this. Yeah, love that project. Okay, on Thursday, I made another new start. And this is 9 Ladies Dancing. This is Nora Corbett. And this is in her 12 Days of Christmas series. And what I got done looks more like an ink blot, series of ink blots than actually anything. So, what you see there, let's see. The big pink is like the part of her skirt right around her waist. This white is her gloved hand, and she's like holding up the 2 sides of her skirt on either side. And then I started working on the skin, which I am doing 1/1 because she has hardly any skin at all. And then this pink here is like the skirt that she's holding up. And then the purple is like the curtains along the side. Okay. The reason that it looks like this is that 95% of her skirt is stitched in krennic. I mean, it's a lot of krennic. Like, I might have to order another spool of the color in particular that's called for there, because I don't think one spool is going to be enough to do it. I mean, I really, really don't. So, I mean, you know, we'll have to see what happens when I start stitching that, but it is nonetheless full of krennic and beads. Lots and lots of beads in this one, which makes me happy. I had an issue with this, but I can't see it anymore. So never mind. I guess it worked itself out being out of the frame. Oh, this is another one that suffers from the crease down the middle. Even when it's on the frame, you can still see it, but it's not a big deal. So that is my 9 Ladies Dancing. Another one that I am much looking forward to getting back to. I'll just fold her up the way she wants to be. Okay. Saturday was really interesting. Friday, I worked on my Fibery Friend sampler, like I showed you earlier. However, Friday I worked a double. So I worked from 11 in the morning until 11 at night. And that pretty much left me no actual stitching time. So in the morning, I did my hour with my Joan Elliott, and then I didn't stitch anything else because I was at work all day. So I was supposed to start Fibery Friends on Friday the 7th, along with, let's see, Candace, who is Candy Stitches here on FlossTube, Letitia, the Crafty Curator, and then I believe Andrea, all tangled in threads. I want to say that that's the Instagram username. We all sort of started the Fibery Friend sampler on Friday the 7th. Well, I technically didn't start until like 12:02 Saturday morning because I started stitching. I just put in a couple of stitches Friday night when I got home from work, and I didn't get home until after midnight. But I wanted to make sure that I gave that project my due diligence on Saturday. I was off work on Saturday, so I got up in the morning, I did my hour with the Joan Elliott, and that was my last day with that project. And then I worked on Fibery Friend Sampler for a little while. And on Saturday, we had my nephew's birthday party. So I And then my phone fell apart, so we spent some time with Sprint, and it was just like, it was like one of those days, one of those kinds of days. So what I managed to accomplish for that day was really what I did for Fibery Friend Sampler. I didn't even pull out my project that I was scheduled for the day. So I'm going to show you this, but I haven't done anything to it. It's purely for like a placeholder. On Saturday, I was supposed to work on my not quite white work cell. And so you'll see that I made 0 progress. I get sad when I show 0 progress. That doesn't make me happy at all. But it's what happens, you know. I worked a volume on Friday, and that sort of sent everything out of whack. I debated on picking this up on Sunday, but I thought, you know, I'm not. I'm just going to get back on schedule. I'm just going to do what I am meant to for that day, and we'll call that good. So that was that, I guess. And then on Sunday was an interesting day as well. Got quite a bit of stitching time, and so, you know, that's that. On Sunday, I worked on my summer still life. This was a design that I got out of the Just Cross Stitch June 2015, so 2 issues ago. Or no, I guess 1 issue, because they do them bi-monthly, don't they? And the designer is Perman. And this I am doing for the Cross Stitch and Discuss Freeze into a Puddle. Excuse me, starting to lose my voice a little. And so here's what I accomplished. And I think I got quite a bit done. I'm kind of impressed. So when you saw this last, all of the orange parts in the vase weren't there. And that's because I didn't have those colors. But I acquired them, and so there you have it. The centers of the flowers there were also not done for the same reason. So I got the vase completely done. I know it doesn't look like it, but there's a bowl that kind of cuts into the frame of that vase. So I did get that done, and then I started working on this flower up here. I am not in love with the colors. The image of the finished piece, these browns in the vase, so like I'm talking like this here, are a lot more subtle. They look like shadows, whereas this, it almost looks like the vase is painted that color. Like they don't look really shadow-like. They're really there's a lot of contrast between those colors and the oranges in the vase. But I'm stitching them exactly as charted, so I'm just going to go with it, and it's going to be what it's going to be. Sorry guys, shoulder itches all of a sudden. Okay. So, yeah, so that's my summer still life. I love this project. I love the linen. The linen is some Zweigart 32 count. And I saved myself enough fabric to do something else on the bottom there. So you see I've got that up there, and then the rest I can use for whatever, which I think I know what I'm going to put on there, but I have to measure things and make sure that that would work. So anyway, so there is my summer still life. And that concluded last week's WIPs. That's a tongue twister. Got a lot of those this video, huh? So let's talk about this week's WIPs. These are my last 7 projects for summer's last hurrah, which I find to be a little bit mind-blowing. Well, that was my fire alarm battery telling me it's dying. Sorry about that. I jumped. Okay, so yesterday, I worked on my Pumpkin Patch Farm sampler from the Victoria sampler. And so you will see some changes here from the last time that you saw it, which I cannot tell you when that was. So I started using the Gloriana Autumn Golds, and so you will see just barely sprinkled, just some dark oranges leading into golds there. It'll look like crunchy leaves. It's just exactly what it's supposed to look like. And then I basically went up the side here with the tree, and then I did the back stitch on this tree, and so I have 2 currently naked trees. They will have leaves on them, but they just don't right now. Let's see. There were also just some blank bits in the down here next to my farmer guy. And so yeah, I found myself actually enjoying this project for once yesterday, which is really a change because I was so frustrated with the color issues that I was having that I sort of took the fun out of this project. I'm still struggling with the colors based on what the picture says it's supposed to look like. I'm still unimpressed with that. And so I think that if I do another Victoria sampler, rather than buy the accessory pack, I'm just going to buy full skeins so that I can pick the colors and the lengths that I use, because I think that might be part of the issue that I'm running into here. I think that the lengths that they sent in the accessory pack are just pieces randomly tossed in, and so that's why I'm not getting the variation that I was looking for. So anyway, that's that, and that's where I am. I wanted to finish up this band number 1 and maybe get to the specialty stitch band down underneath, but that didn't happen. So next time I pull this out, I will do that. Okay, next, today, I'm so excited for this, and I didn't think that I would be. Sorry, itchy nose. I haven't worked on this in so long. Oh my goodness, so long. And there was a whole story about why I started working on this and then why I stopped. But the project that I'm working on today, and I haven't started yet, is my Rose Fairy from Joan Elliott. And so what I got done, it must have been over a year ago. This has got to be a UFO at this point. What I got done over a year ago was really just that little piece of her skirt. And I am so excited to get back to this. So the fabric that I'm using here is 28 count, I think it's Lugana, and the color is Confetti from Picture This Plus. And so it's got lots of yellows, but then there are little bits of pinks and greens and purples in there. Really, really pretty, but mostly yellow, which I think looks really nice for the Rose Fairy. I'm so excited to work on this again. So yay. I imagine I'm going to be stitching like gangbusters today. Good thing I don't have to work because I'm just going to be stitchy, stitchy, stitchy. So that's that. Okay. Tomorrow is a new start. Is that right? Just want to make sure I'm following this right. Yes, tomorrow is a new start. And I am starting something on this fabric right here. So, if you have watched my channel before, then you know what this project is. I may not actually do this on this project, on this fabric, because it's so small. I may just upgrade and use a bigger piece of fabric. But this is 28 count Fog Cashel, little 8x12 piece. And what I'm doing on this is my very first Teresa Wensler. The pattern that I'm doing is a freebie pattern, and you can find it, I think it's free on patternsonline.com. You can also find it on teresawensler.com, I want to say. The pattern is Stretch, and it's a long drag, and I'm going to insert a picture here so that you can see what it's supposed to look like, because I don't have an image. I just have my chart, and I'd rather not show charts, even though it's free, but you can find it yourself if you want. So yeah, I'm going to do my first Teresa Wensler. I am nervous, anxious, excited. All of those feelings in one. It's kind of a little nauseating, but you know, whatever. I have been wanting to do a Teresa Wensler since I learned how to cross stitch. Honest to goodness, I purchased, one of my first patterns that I purchased without starting it was the Romeo and Juliet by Teresa Wensler. Gorgeous. Terrifying, but gorgeous. I know that Laurel just showed a whole bunch of her Teresa Wensler patterns, and I want every single one of them. For some reason with Teresa Wensler, I have been able to prevent myself from buying everything by her and just having it hanging out in my stash. Like I have been able to resist the urge to just be a collector. So anyway, so tomorrow I am starting my first Teresa Wensler. You will probably see a different fabric, even though I bought this fabric specifically for it because it's smoky, but I'm just going to do it on something else. I'm sure I have something else in my stash. I'm okay with that being on a basic fabric just because I don't want it to take away from the design. So Thursday, I am going to be working on this project that is well loved. This is Opus 2, aka Maggie, and it is by Long Dog Samplers. And so you will see that I have that big motif there in the middle done, and that is the center one. And then I think I'm going to work down here on the little one, or I might work up here. I don't know, we will see. This piece is named Maggie for Jennifer Hassler's dog, because she loves this project so much. I found something very, very cool. So up here on the top, you stitch like initials, so like Stitcher's initials. And so I'm going to finish this. I'm already decided I'm finishing it after May 28th next year. And the reason for that is that I'm going to stitch the initials JMS. Now, you may be wondering, okay, so what's that? So JMS has two meanings behind it. So JMS would be my initials, Jessie Marie, my last name, once I get married. My last name right now starts with a B, however, my husband-to-be's last name starts with an S, so JMS, it's me. It is also Jennifer and Maggie's. So JMS, Jennifer and Maggie, and then the possessive S. So I thought that was kind of cool. So it either belongs to JM or it is stitched by JMS. I like it. I like those plays with letters. I like those things. So it just kind of worked out perfectly. And so this is going to get some love and attention on Thursday. Okay. On Friday, we have, in Cross Stitch It's Fun, the Flossie's Snack Shack. Sorry, excuse my Thor bros there. We have the Flossie's Snack Shack stitch along. And for this, I am working on my Birdie Bots Box of Delights by Liz Almond. And I don't know what's going on with my shoulder. Almost got a bug bite. So this is where I'm at with this. And I haven't worked on this since I started it. But basically, I am doing the... Wow, I'm really off on my fabric here. Do you guys see that? That's so silly. Once again. Anyway, I am doing a Harry Potter interpretation of the Box of Delights. And so I have picked colors with Harry Potter significance. And this first one, let's see, we have Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, Slytherin. And those are in alphabetical order. Not by order of importance, but alphabetically. And the original Box of Delights pattern is 36 different delights. Because I'm doing the 16, so 4x4, I'm just kind of picking the patterns that I like to fill in to each of these delights. And I'm calling it Birdie Bots because it's a Harry Potter reference as well. So yeah, looking forward to getting back to this. I'll be honest, this is on some cheap 28 count fabric, which I wish that I had started this on linen because I just prefer it, but it's okay. So that's that. Okay, then on Saturday, I am starting this project. This is my Big Toe Cross Stitch Designs, and this is normal family. Remember, as far as anyone knows, we are a nice, normal family. Love this. This is stitched in Crescent Colors, 7 colors of Crescent Colors. And I'm stitching it on the recommended fabric. It's just a 32 count Jubilant. It's white. It's really boring, but I'm okay with that. It's a really simple design. This is going to be my next project for August ABCs because killer, lots of letters there. So, very pretty. And then the ultimate last project for summer's last hurrah is a new start. And I haven't decided which one I'm going to do. I know the designer. The designer is Paul Yvonne. I'm going to pick something from this book here. I don't know which one because I want to stitch all 12. So I'm contemplating either doing the August one because it's August. So let me open up to that. So this one is August, and those are poppies there, and very pretty. I also thought about starting with January because it's the first one. And I also saw calicos of this, and I just loved it. I think I'm going to save November for the Cross Stitch and Discuss Paul Yvonne Stitch Along, but this is November. And then there was another one. Is that April? I think it's April. I mean, April is my birthday, so. No, it's May. For some reason, May really jumped out at me and said, "Stitch me, Jess, you want to stitch me?" Says this entire book. So I don't know. Why don't you guys vote? Tell me which one do you think I should do? January, May, August. Oh, July. July I could do. Okay, so January, May, July, or August. And I am going to save November for later. But so pick from those which ones you think I should do. I'll let you guys decide because I'm indecisive. And then I will just watch the comments to see which one I start on Sunday, August 16th, which is going to be an interesting day because we're going to be in DC for my brother's birthday. That morning, at least, we're having birthday brunch. So yeah, that is it. I have some work to do. First of all, I have to clean all this up because do you know how hard it is to show 16 different projects? 2 weeks worth of projects plus my 2 ABCs. So yeah, 16. Oh well, 15. Okay. Anyway, I can't count. It's a problem for a cross stitcher. Anywho, back on track. Got a lot of mess to clean up. I probably should go hang out with that snoring beast over there. Yep, almost on cue. And I'm going to go do some stitching on my Rose Fairy. I'm so excited. So, thank you guys so much for watching. You are wonderful. Love this community. Love FlossTube. So far behind on videos. It's like the beginning of the month. So much to watch, which is fantastic. So yeah, so I will see you guys next time.